I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you, as always, for covering us. Obviously, very excited for the game this Thursday night to play at home in front of our students, in front of our family and friends and fans, and hopefully a lot of people here in the community of Waco. Excited to play West Virginia. I think Coach Brown is one of the great coaches in college football. The job he did at Troy was absolutely fantastic. He's a good man to get to know, and he and his staff are doing a great job right now of building that team, that young football team. They've got some tremendous players on their defensive front. It's going to be a tremendous challenge for us, our offensive line, which has not always been our strength, versus a veteran defensive line. I think their interior pressure, I think their edge pressure is really going to be one of the matchups of the game. I think they're 11 sacks, three in the conference, and one of the top teams in the country in terms of sacking the quarterback. Their offensive line has done a tremendous job of protecting their quarterback. Kendall's a veteran; he's played a lot. We know that they have some other guys that they can go in the game and play, Trey Lowe, and we're preparing for any and all of them. A dynamic young receiver that's going to be one of the best players in the Big 12 over the next couple of years in 13, James. And they do a great job of keeping you off balance with screens and all kinds of swings and verticals, and really trying to keep you off balance. So we've got to do a great job of stopping the run so we can concentrate on those things and try to go play our best game. So with that, I'll take whatever questions you have.
Matt, considering you are the lone undefeated Big 12 team, are y'all more of a target now, or how do you see it?
I think I look at every week we play, someone's trying to beat us, and so nothing about us being undefeated. I just think more, when we were 0-7, people could probably beat us with their base, and I think what our kids have experienced the last couple of weeks is we prepare for one defense, we prepare for something on offense, we get something different. Well, that's part of it, right? It's part of being a decent team, being a good team, is you're going to see different things, and you have to adjust. And what we say is, we prepare all the way through the game. Like, you don't know how the game's going to go till the end of the game. So we want to prepare on Friday night, we want to prepare on Saturday, we want to prepare Saturday during the game, and and I'm saying Saturday knowing it's Thursday, but that's how my brain works. Prepare all the way through the game and just keep adjusting, keep learning, keep adapting to the things that are happening. And if you do that, that's a sign of a good team.
I mean, we talked to John a couple weeks ago, and he didn't even know when y'all were ranked. How do you handle talking with the team about everything that kind of happened this weekend and really what's out in front of you?
Yeah, I mean, I asked the team. We've got a lot of guys texting me about the things that happened this weekend, and I think the message was very simple. Like I said, what did you guys learn this weekend? They said, well, special teams matters. You saw games come down to special teams. I said, what matters? Third down really is important. Yeah, third down is really important. You can't play this game looking at the scoreboard. You have got to just go play. And I think those messages that we say all the time, they were just reinforced by the games that happened this weekend. And not just Big 12 games. I mean, they watched, Auburn, LSU. I mean, I'm a fool. I stayed up till 1:30 watching Oregon, Washington State. And, what you realize is if you want to win games, you better play well. And that's the only thing that you can control. So I think our team's a team that's, focused hopefully on trying to play as well as we possibly can Thursday night, because we'll have to.
Matt, you guys have now played one game without Clay. Defense made some big plays down the stretch in that game. Is it as much on kind of everyone around Terrell as it is Terrell to sort of replace what Clay does?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Terrell played really well in the game. We're unhappy with how he played on defense just simply because of our tackling. We've been a good tackling team, and then the last two games, we haven't tackled quite as well. Now, in fairness, you got to give a lot of credit to the guys that were tackling, Chuba Hubbard and some really good players there. But we did not tackle well in the past game, and I think part of it was tired coming down the stretch, and guys have played a lot of football. We were playing about 60 snaps on defense last year. We're playing in the 80s, so we're playing a lot more snaps on defense right now. And that's for a lot of reasons, right? Our offense has been a little bit more big play oriented, so they're scoring quicker. The defense is having to be out there longer. Defense hasn't been as good on third down. Offense hasn't been as good on third down. So there's some things that we'd like to correct, but we're playing a lot more snaps. I think guys are getting a little bit worn down going into that last game, but we didn't tackle real well. So to me, it's about everyone tackling well. And you tackle not just the art of me tackling you, but also of us running the proper angles and leveraging the football properly. They're big explosive play, the 70-yard touchdown. That was a result of 2 missed tackles. And so I think everyone on defense has to play better and tackle better. I think everyone on offense has to block better. So to me, it's just an aggregate of us all doing our job a little bit better when you lose a great player like Clay Johnston.
does playing a Thursday night game kind of throw your schedule and everything out of whack, since it is a few days prior to your normal Saturday game? How do you approach, today, tomorrow, and Wednesday?
The hardest thing is just dealing with classes. Like we met this morning at 7:30, and then we're going to practice tonight from 8 to 10 o'clock at night. That's not ideal, but it is what it is. That if that bothers us, then we're not a good team. So it's just kind of Monday we have a lot of labs, and we're never going to allow someone to miss anything academic for football. So we'll come in, and we'll practice after everything's done. I thought the bye week was good for us in that we were able to get our young guys a lot of reps, and then we were able to focus on West Virginia. We had the same situation last year against West Virginia, and we treated last week like a bye week and tried to do the game this week, and we got our face kicked in last year. And so I take that personally because it's my job to get the team ready. And there wasn't a game last year that I thought the team wasn't ready except for Duke and West Virginia. And so I put those two games on me. Duke was early, we learned from it. West Virginia was late. I'm from the East Coast. I went back home and saw a bunch of family and friends came to that game, and they were kind enough to sit through it, and we didn't play well. So I think attacking the schedule, attacking the mindset. Like we didn't go out recruiting last week. We didn't do those things. We worked on this game, and I think that's a mindset that comes out of last year's experience.
Well, do you think 2 years ago when West Virginia, last time they played here, the second half, that maybe the seeds of your turnaround started in the second half of that game?
Yeah, we put Charlie in, because what was unique about that game was I think it was 10-10. You remember, it was 10-10 right before the half. And we hit a pass. It went down. If we're driving to maybe take the lead, I think it was 10-10. And then we give them the ball on the 3-yard line with a minute. And they go 90 yards and hit a seam ball to go up 17-10. And then they came out after halftime. They scored another touchdown in 2 plays. So it went from 10-10, we're in the game, to 24-10. All of a sudden we lost hope. And we kind of gave up. And we put Charlie in. And then Ebner hits a big play. Ebner goes in the game. And we just kind of started playing frantically and playing loose, and made a bunch of plays. Gavin Holmes was out there running around. So a lot of those guys that were out there playing, now they're veterans. And I think the thing that we've learned is, we have to stop worrying about everything else and just play football and play free and play loose and play relaxed. And that was one of those games where, you get behind when you're young. You don't have to worry about, when it's 17-17 and you're playing, you're worried about making a mistake that can cost the game. When it's 38-17, you're just playing. And we found a way to get back in that game.
Charlie's obviously done it several times since then. Was that kind of the first time where you thought, okay, this guy's got something special, regardless of game situation?
Well, you could see it that game. I think that we kind of said that all along from when he first got there that spring. I remember we went to Kansas State. I think that was game 5, and we put him in. I remember a lot of people asking me in this press conference afterwards, why'd you blow his redshirt year for like 4 or 5 plays? And I just think we felt like, hey, this guy's a football player, and we got to get him in the game. And so then he went to Oklahoma State and he got in a little bit more, right? I can't remember if it was West Virginia then. I can't remember how that went, but he got in, and then finally it was just, hey, this is his time. Let's let him go play. I think the biggest thing about Charlie, as always, is that he loves to play. He doesn't let adverse conditions, adverse things affect him. If he throws an interception, if he gets sacked, he doesn't come off and act crazy. He just says, all right, let's go. He goes right back out and keeps playing. So it's easy to coach a guy like that.
Now, what does that say about the Big 12?
Sorry.
There were so many upsets, and what were you thinking as you were watching those games Saturday?
Well, I think it says about the Big 12 that there's just there's great parity, and that's what I've said all along. You can't have just 10 teams and have them all play each other and think that there's not going to be a lot of familiarity, right? So just like, hey, that means then that we play this team every year, we know them. Well, they play us every year, they know us, right? So it's like being in the NFL. It's way harder. I think part of it, too, though, is I think you recognize that there's great coaches. Kansas had a great upset, you'd say, and Kansas State had a great upset. Well, those are 2 national championship coaches. They've both won national championships. They've done this before, and great teams, to me, get better as the season goes on. A lot of people can look great in September, early October. What do you look like in October and November? And you see those 2 teams getting better and better and better each and every week. And so I think it just says that this is a really tough league. There's no easy out. There's no, hey, we got that team. You have to show up and play each and every week. As I was watching, and I'm just a fan of college football. I watched Columbia Dartmouth the other night. As long as I could until the score got out of hand. I watched Houston SMU. I love watching football. Colorado SC. So I watch all those games, and I'm always trying to take a little something away from all of them. Yes, sir.
Has it been a challenge to keep the players from getting distracted because you're getting so much national attention now?
I can't. Yeah, I can't. What I've learned long ago is I can't keep them from getting distracted. I can't keep their attention. I put like a process in place, and I keep reminding them of that. Right. So I think our guys have done a good job. Like, sometimes when they start winning, guys start retweeting a lot of pictures of themselves and stuff like that on social media. And I want them to have fun. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like if you're not going to retweet when someone says you're 0-7, you shouldn't retweet when they're 7-0. You should just live the same way all the time. But I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to work. If they show up and work, then so be it. And they've been showing up to work. Now we have to show up and play really, really well on Thursday night, and we'll see if we can get them to that point. But they're it's good about having a lot of veterans. They've been through a lot of things, and our seniors have never beat West Virginia. They've never beaten West Virginia, and so I think they understand. And not only have they not beaten them, they had a heartbreaking loss in 2016 at the end of the season at West Virginia. We had a heartbreaking loss 2017 here, the one we just talked about. 2018 we got our teeth kicked in, and so all the other stuff is all the other stuff. Like Halloween and it comes down to football, and we have not played better football than West Virginia since 2015. So that's got to change, and that happens on the practice field and in the meeting rooms. And so far, they've done that at a high level. We have guys banged up, other guys are stepping up, and I've been pleased with the football. We'll know Thursday. How we play.
Y'all have it's your special teams have been really good, I guess, the last 2 years with the block and stuff like that. I mean, can you kind of walk us through how much you emphasize it, and maybe because it can be a difference maker, and why is that such a priority?
Yeah, we've always blocked field goals and punts at a high level, and that goes back to our time at Temple. I think we led the nation there a couple times, or over the aggregate of a couple years, and we don't do anything special. We just line up and go after it, and we just expect that our guys are going to do it. I think we're good at it because we put good players there. They take it seriously, and we practice it. Not a lot of people do live field goal versus field goal block in season. They're afraid of getting guys hurt. I feel like if you're going to do it in the game, you might as well do it in practice at least once a week. So we do it. I think the biggest difference from last year this year is we made a total mind shift, because I'm one of those head coaches that doesn't love like special teams meetings and special teams periods. Like, I'm like an O-line guy. I just want to go down there and just do O-line stuff. So we made an emphasis to change our attention to detail on special teams, and it started with meetings. I mean, Mike Saravo's done an amazing job of running meetings with everyone in there. I think if you asked everyone on our team, they could install punt for you, from our offensive line to our quarterback. Even though if they're not on it, they've all been invested in it. I think we've done a great job in terms of the practice, the amount of time that we do it, and the way that we do it. But the biggest thing is the players. The players have completely bought into doing it, and doing it at a high level. So, like, when you have Jermichael Hasty rips off a 74-yard run and then runs down on that kickoff, no one's doing that. I mean, some people are doing that. You watch the great Alabama teams; those running backs were all running down. We have our 2 starting tailbacks run down on kickoff. That tells people that it's important. We have starters all over our special teams. Chris Platt's out there. He's on the punt team. They're doing all these different things for us. And so it's been just really the players buying into it. But I think as I looked at the job I did last year and I said, what can I improve? Man, we dropped a punt or a kickoff return every game last year. And so we said, we're not going to do that anymore. So we've put a lot more time and attention into it. So it shows up on the blocks. But, we don't beat Texas Tech, or we don't get going against Texas Tech if we don't have that great kickoff return. Obviously, last week it bothered us that they ran the fake punt on us, and so we're going to change some of the things that we're doing there. But I just like our guys' attention to detail.
Coach, you mentioned the struggles you guys have had against West Virginia in the past few years. How big would it be for the process in turning this program around to get those demons behind you guys and get a win over West Virginia?
Yeah, I mean, like, people keep asking me what I feel like to be 7-0, 7-0, 7-0. Well, I'd really like to be 8-0, and I really would not like to be 7-1. So that's how I said it. That's literally how I said it to the players. Like, you guys like 7-0? You like having 7 wins? How would you like to be 7-1? You wouldn't like. Okay, so to me, it's just about this week. It's not about last. I bring up the point of last year because we realize, hey, we have not out-footballed them. We have not played better than them. So what do we better focus on this week is the football, right? And so the game's going to come down to me, nothing more than, can we block 91? Can we block 55, 56. Can our O-line protect against this D-line? I don't know that. Like, I believe they can, but we've got to go do it. Can we cover 13? Can we handle the quarterback run game? Can we handle the exotic? So that's, to me, it's just trying to always get them to come back to the football, because when you watch the games this Saturday, you guys asked me about the games, what you realize is guys won or lost, not based upon their ranking, not based upon anything else, not what uniforms they wore, not who was in the crowd. They won or lost based upon one thing and one thing only: whoever played better. So if you have 4 turnovers, you're probably going to lose. So just always trying to get our guys' minds back to just go back to the football. Go back to the football. I love going back and watching, because Florence is sitting over here. I love going back and watching I always go back and watch old Baylor games against the teams we're playing. So I go back and watch 2015. Was it, how did they beat him in 2015? Well, Corey Coleman just ran by the guy and caught a touchdown and just did amazing things. And Seth Russell was beautiful playing football, beautiful football. And so to me, it's like, guys, you guys want to win? Okay, here's how you win. You have to play really, really well. How do you play really well? You prepare really well. How do you prepare really well? Well, you probably shouldn't be talking about what happened last week. You probably should be talking about, so that's my message to the guys is let's focus on this week. Let's play well. What people have a tendency to say is, hey, let's just focus on this week. I didn't say that. I didn't say just focus on this week, because now you're saying let's not focus on this week. Because if not, then you'll lose this week and you'll say, you know what, that was disappointing. So focus right now on being elite. So they were good this morning. We'll see if they're good tonight. We're going to go tomorrow. We're going to go tomorrow night. We're going to practice and prepare for this game, because it's going to be an unbelievable challenge. It's been a 4-point game. Even Oklahoma was 28-14. It's Texas. It's a 4-point game at halftime. Kansas is a 4-point game. I mean, they're all tight games until the fourth quarter. So this will be a war of attrition, and hopefully our guys will be ready to play in the fourth quarter.
Matt, the way that defenses have taken Denzel kind of out, how big has it been to see guys like Fleets and Taekwon, but then how also do you get Denzel maybe back involved?
I just think we have to say, and we did it a couple times on Saturday where we said, they might be, playing man with a guy over the top, or we're still going to throw it to him. And he got 2 big pass interference calls, which it was 0 blitz. Charlie was fearless. He stood in there and, ran a slant and go, and he knew he was going to get hit, but he took the hit for the team and threw it up, and Denzel, made that play. I think it's all the things you said. The other guys have to continue to make plays. I think you notice when Charlie drops back now, he's pulling the ball down and running a lot and getting a lot of huge plays. And that's because if you put a lot of guys in coverage and you play a lot of man coverage, there's no one really for the quarterback. And so Charlie's hurting him. So everyone else has to continue to hurt him, but I think we have to say, and Denzel's been, he's been banged up since the Kansas State game. He got hurt on that first outcut against Kansas State and went down the first drive this past game. I thought he was done for the game, and he's talk about a guy I couldn't be more proud of in terms of his mental and physical toughness this season is at an all-time high. And he's doing things that, inspire other people, because he's playing when he's not feeling right. He's playing when he's not 100%. He's playing through it. I think the bye week was good for him. And I think we just have to say, you know what, let's throw it up to him every once in a while and let him go make the play, because he's a great player.
That homecoming Texas Tech crowd was, really raucous. What do you expect on Thursday night? Do you have a challenge for fans?
No, just hope, as I say, I hope whoever comes is loud. I hope whoever comes, I know it's Halloween, and I know it's hard for some people. I think if you're a fan of this team, and you can come watch us play, just be loud. Some of the atmospheres we go into are really, really, really loud, and just continue to be loud. But we appreciate everyone that comes. I think the students, there's no classes Friday, or there's classes Friday. There's no classes after like 11 o'clock on Thursday. That's unbelievable. Like, you don't have class from 11 o'clock on, or 12 o'clock, whatever it is. So I think it should be a great, great, great atmosphere.
Matt, do you think Graylin or Treston will be ready?
Treston's available. He's not 100%, but he's available. And Graylin, not sure yet. I'd say, questionable. I'm hopeful, but I know this. He's not ready to start. So JT will start. But the goal would be to have Graylin available in some sort of limited capacity. But again, we're never gonna play him before it's too early, because we don't want to do that to the kid.
Virginia, I know that they, under the previous coaching staff, had brought in that 3-3-5 into the Big 12. Are they still kind of playing that now?
They're more of a 4-down team, but they use some hybrid guys. They're like the only team doing what they're doing. So on any given play, they can either be a 4-3 defense or a 3-4 defense. They have some guys kind of moving up and walking around, and they I don't want to say exotic, but they're challenging in that every play is a different look. So it's got some of the previous tenets of the 3-3 mixed in with some 4 down, so you have to be prepared for it all.
Coach,
Thank
do you think your great linebacker, middle linebacker, will come back next year?
His clock is done. He's all done. So.
He didn't redshirt?
Yeah, he redshirted his first year, and he couldn't redshirt this year. So, or he was past the. It was game 6, so he can't get that year back. So, he's actually down. He's getting ready to have surgery. I think he's at the surgery, but he's going to have surgery tomorrow. So, we wish the best to Clay.